Hello, I am Day, a woman in recovery from loss, grief, trauma, and addiction. I have found that in my years of active recovery, that upon waking, it is useful for me to affirm and devote myself to the me of my recovery, the one who ties all of the pieces of me together, gently and lovingly to face each day. With these daily affirmations, reflections, and devotions, walk with me on the journey of renewal and self reflection, and remember that you are not alone. Fair use. January, uh, January 2nd. Daily Reflection. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. And AA is Alcoholics Anonymous. Fair use. January 2nd. First, the foundation. Is sobriety all that we can expect of a spiritual awakening? No, sobriety is only a bare beginning, as Bill sees it, page 8. Practicing the AA program is like building a house. First, I have to pour a big, thick concrete slab on which to erect the house. That, to me, was the equivalent of stopping drinking. But it's pretty uncomfortable living on a concrete slab, unprotected and exposed to the heat, cold, wind, and rain. So I built a room on the slab by starting to practice the program. The first room was rickety because I wasn't used to the work. But as time passed, as I practiced the program, I learned to build better rooms. The more I practiced and the more I built, the more comfortable and happy was the home I now have to live in. Courage to change one day at a time in Al-Anon. Fair use. January 2nd. Turning to an alcoholic for affection and support can be like going to a hardware store for bread. Perhaps we expect a good parent to nurture and support our feelings, or a loving spouse to comfort and hold us when we are, afraid, or a caring child to want to pitch in when we are ill or overwhelmed. While these loved ones may not meet our expectations, it is our expectations, not our loved ones, that have let us down. Love is expressed in many ways, and those affected by alcoholism may not be able to express it the way we would like. But we can try to recognize love whenever and however it is offered. When it is not, we don't have to feel deprived. Most of us find an unfailing source of love in Al Anon. With the encouragement and support of others, we learn to treat our needs as important and appropriate, and to treat ourselves as deserving. Today's reminder: today, the alcoholic may or may not be able to give us what we desire, and no one person will ever offer all that we require. If we stop insisting that our needs be met according to our will, we may discover that all the love and support we need is already at our fingertips. In Al Anon, I discover in myself the power to throw new light on a seemingly hopeless situation. I learn I must use this power not to change the alcoholic over whom I am powerless, but to overcome my own distorted ideas and attitudes. One day at a time in Al Anon. Just for today, Narcotics Anonymous, January 2nd, fair use. Take a deep breath and talk to God. Sometimes when we pray, a remarkable thing happens. We find means, ways, and energies to perform tasks far beyond our capacities. Basic text, page 46. Coping successfully with life's minor annoyances and frustrations is sometimes the most difficult skill we have to learn in recovery. We are faced with small inconveniences daily, from untangling the knots in our children's shoelaces to standing in line at the market. Our days are filled with minor difficulties that we must somehow deal with. If we're not careful, we may find ourselves dealing with these difficulties by bullying our way through each problem or grinding our teeth while giving ourselves a stern lecture about how we should handle them. These are extreme examples of poor coping skills. But even if we are not this bad, there's probably room for improvement. Each time life presents us with another little setback to our daily plans, we can simply take a deep breath and talk to the God of our understanding. Knowing we can draw patience, tolerance, or whatever we need from that power, we find ourselves coping better and smiling more often. Just for today, I will take a deep breath and talk to my God whenever I feel frustrated. Fair use. January 2nd. Emotions Anonymous. Emotions Anonymous. Reflection for today. The 12 steps make up a whole. Each is good separately, but unless we apply all of them to our lives, we will regret. It is easy to enter the program, get excited, work on only a few of the steps, and feel better for having done as much as we did. If we do not consciously make a choice to change our way of life permanently to include all the steps, we may lose what we have gained. At the least, we will not continue to progress and will lose out on the serenity promised as a result of working the steps. It is very tempting to be satisfied with lowering the pain level to manageable proportions. If we do stop there, the person we hurt the most is ourselves. Although we may also hurt others, the difference between working the whole program and only part is the difference between serenity and existing. Meditation for today. May you always remind me that just for today, I have a program. Today I will remember this program is not a menu from which to choose what I want, but a way of life to get the full benefits. I must live it all. Fair use. Daily affirmations, strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. January 2nd. Commonality. The first time I read the common behaviors of an adult child, I felt like a bell that had been fetched up and rang hard. I was calm on the outside, but I was vibrating on the inside. BRB, page 118. BRB means big red. When we first heard our story told, it seemed like we floated around the room for the rest of the meeting. What just happened? Did we really hear that? How does this person know about us? We felt frightened, but we weren't sure why. We may have even gone home and taken a nap or walked through the rest of our day in a daze. When we woke up the next day, we may have felt hungover. What we find is that we identify with the ACA problem and the laundry list traits, and with other adult children. We have learned many tools to deal with those defenses as we grow in the program with our sponsors and with our step work. We lean on the people who came before us to show us the way to serenity and wholeness until we possess the quality with stability in ourselves. We know we are not alone. On this day, I will call my sponsor. If I don't have a fellow traveler yet, I will call someone with more experience in the program than me and ask them if they're willing to walk with me through the steps. Please subscribe, like, share, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be.